If he tried to chase his opponent, the little guy would just flit away, and Ethan's wasp would run out of fuel. "There is no way you are getting the best of me," Ethan whispered. So Ethan kept falling, and let the silver-striped mosquito drift a bit closer. Ethan snapped his wing controls, hovered to a bone-jarring stop, and, before his enemy flashed past him, grabbed at the mosquito with barbed forelimbs. There was an ear-splitting screech of insect chitin and sparking titanium as they made contact. They tumbled and wrestled. As they fell to earth, Ethan refused to release, even with only 3,000 feet to go. He had a superior grip and turned the smaller insect so he was under Ethan's wasp, making sure he'd land right on top of the little creep. Ethan was going to win this, no matter what it cost. Then everything went black. Computer screens, indicators, even the emergency lights. "What now?" Ethan said. His cockpit hatch hissed and opened. Ethan blinked as the bright lights of the simulation deck streamed inside. This hadn't been real. Oh, it had been real enough to get a feel of combat flight, and to get bruises, and the instructors could pressurize your flight suit to even cause blackouts. But you couldn't die. Ethan clambered out of his ICE wasp. The gigantic insect had wires attached to its camera and sensor systems. This was all one big dream to the bug. It was probably happy to have the chance to fly and fight, over and over. Ethan, though, wasn't happy. He'd been robbed of his win. He rubbed his shoulder, sore from the simulated acceleration that almost dislocated the joint. He squinted, his eyes still adjusting to the bright lights. The simulation deck had a dozen ICE suits and hydraulic rigs that could be turned and twisted. Adult technicians monitored the simulations on computers. Some pilots flew over mountains, some over deserts, some over Arctic ice fields. They dove, rolled, and fired lasers, missiles, and guns at computer-generated opponents. Or sometimes an instructor would get into a suit and go one-on-one against a trainee. The stakes weren't life or death, but they were high enough. You had to score so many points or risk flunking out of flight school. The resistors didn't let just anyone fly. They needed pilots, but when you're in a banking turn going 400 miles an hour with a wingman just feet away, one wrong move and you could wipe out the entire squadron. Ethan spotted Madison and Felix standing nearby, watching him. Felix wore his gray uniform, a jumpsuit with sergeant stripes, and silver-crossed insect wings on the left shoulder, the insignia of a resistor pilot. Ethan wanted a set of those wings so bad he could taste it. At 13, Felix was a year older than Ethan, but he could have passed for 16, with his broad wrestler shoulders and standing a full head taller than other boys their age. He'd shaved racing stripes into the side of his shorn hair. He flew a Gladiator-class rhinoceros beetle ICE suit and was the best heavy combat flyer in the Resistance. Ethan counted him as one of his few, maybe his only, friends here. Standing next to Felix was Madison, a girl. Ethan didn't know what she was. Friend, enemy, or something else. Every time he looked at her, he felt confused. When he'd first met her, she'd been a blonde. Today, her hair was brown and stuck up with so many cowlicks it looked like antennae. Her face came to a point at her sharp chin, which would have made her pixie cute, if not for the angry glare she usually had when she saw Ethan. She wore a mottled green flight suit that matched her reconnaissance Dragonfly ICE armor. The suit could go supersonic, scout ahead, and slip behind enemy lines and never be detected. She was a great pilot. She glared at him, her mouth open in astonishment. "What were you doing?" she demanded. "I was about to win," Ethan said. "That stunt was the most reckless maneuver I've ever seen." Madison scribbled notes on her clipboard. That wasn't good. Madison's job was to assess the flight candidate.